Hey guys, it's Letter Magic here, and Wizards usually doesn't schedule a whole lot of spoilers to go out on weekends, which this weekend being a holiday weekend in the US, that makes sense. Every other weekend, that makes absolutely no sense. You know, don't put them on the days where people aren't working and are on the internet and have time to do things. I mean, that's crazy. But anyway, I saw one or two cards from this, and they're both batshit crazy, so buckle up. I mean, 2021's already screwed. I don't know if you guys have been on Arena, but that format is an absolute joke. It's just an Ultimatum or Ugin race, and the rest of their deck is just, like, stall. Everybody's playing that, plus a couple other degenerate decks. If you think you're playing anything with a party, or really anything with creatures, period, after this gets released in Standard, clearly you haven't seen the 4 or greater deck. You ain't winning with that has creature written on it. So let's jump into this crap. We got, I don't know how to say that in French, whatever. It's Juari Perturbation, which is not a very common word in English. That's probably not what it really is. But it's an instant 2-cost counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. And we already had this leaked quite a while ago. Actually, I just realized this is the land counterspell. And any counterspell that says your opponent paid was 1 more, they have 1 more mana, like, what, 75% of the time, you think? I mean, come on. And then on the back, it's just an island that comes in tap. So this card's kind of garbage, but also I think it shouldn't exist, just in case somebody plays it. So we're really jumping in feet first terror. Next up, we got Inordinate Rage. No. If a rat steals your food, that is an appropriate level of rage. Anyway, it's an instant. Holy shit. +3/+2 till end of turn and scry 1. At least it doesn't cost 1. You know, like a certain card called Infuriate, which given what they named this one, I think they purposely made this a fixed Infuriate. I mean, Infuriate is quite literally +3/+2 instant speed for 1 mana in red, and this one, they just added scry 1 and put another one on it because that's what it should have been in the first place. I will say, though, darn good card. Very, very, very powerful in draft. Next up, we got Kazandu Nectar Pot. It's a 2-cost 1/3 insect, and it has landfall. When a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Fantastic. If it's going to have such a weak stall effect, but then not have 4 or 5 toughness to kind of go with the theme of stalling, I don't think it's a very good card. And it's a common. I think this is just, I drafted it because I'm running green, you know, that kind of card. Next up, we got Black Bloom Rogue. It's just a crap land that comes in tapped on the other side, and it has Menace. It's a 2/3, and it gets +3/+0 as long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. I thought we already saw this. Must have been a card just like it. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Well, since Threshold was your own graveyard and 7, and this one's your opponent's graveyard and 8, I think it's only fair if we call it Mega Threshold. Oh, did you hear that? She's reporting me to HR again, and I don't even work there. That doesn't even make sense. Shout out to anybody who got that reference and has heard the story. Next up, Leyline Tyrant. Oh, here we go. Here we f***ing go. Not one single human being in all of mankind on all of planet Earth has anything good to say about this broken pile of shit. How did this get printed? In fact, I would like you all to take this card, okay, download the card art, go on Twitter, attach it to a tweet, and tweet it at the official Wizards of the Coast Magic account, or I don't care, the esports one, the individual staff members, Mark, Rosewater, Aaron, I don't care, and ask them point blank, who thought this was a good idea? Literally nobody wants this in the game. Why did this get printed? Just something along the lines of that. Just, I demand an explanation as a longtime customer. What is this and how did it happen? And why does the person who designed this still work for you? So anyway, if you haven't read the card at this point, it's a 4/4 for 4 Flying Dragon, which is extremely easy to get out in pretty much any deck. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. It doesn't say turns though, but it doesn't not say turns. So this might not work the way people are thinking, but I'm going to take it extremely literally and say that your mana never goes away ever. I kind of find that hard to believe, but then I kind of find it hard to believe that they would print this next paragraph on it. So when Leyline Tyrant dies, you may pay any amount of red mana. When you do, it deals that much damage to any target. So this is Ratchet Bomb on steroids without a tap effect, okay? You can't just do that. That's not allowed. So if this doesn't cross turns, this is a barely playable piece of garbage. If this does cross turns, this is easily in the top 10 worst cards I've ever seen them design since I started playing. So, I mean, you can't look up a ruling until the set's out, basically. At least on Arena, that's when they update the Gatherer, so I don't know what to tell you. I mean, in the average deck, you could probably just get this up to like 4 or 5 mana generated, so basically the next turn, swing in the air once, and then fling it and just win, because that'd be like 14 damage. Utterly and completely broken trash. So I tried to find the most similar card I could on the Gatherer so we could look up existing rulings, and we've got Krufix, God of Horizons. Very, very similar. It says, if you would lose unspent mana, that mana becomes colorless instead. So it's an unspent mana go away replacement effect. And the very first ruling is this means you can add mana to your mana pool and spend it during a future step, phase, or turn. So that wording seems to imply turns. So this isn't even going to go in like some kind of red rush deck. This is going straight into red-blue spell spam with wizards and cost reductions, and they're just going to pool mana over and over and over and over and over. I mean, yeah, it only pools red mana, but as long as they have like a tiny little bit of blue mana, they'll be able to just counterspell you to oblivion and back. And I already played against basically that deck online, where the entire deck is removal and counterspells, and then it's just like Ugin and some other broken shit involving how many instants and sorceries are in your graveyard. Yeah, that deck is complete cancer without this. With it, it's unbeatable. This card is Wilderness Reclamation, but worse, and with a brick of C4 tied to it. This is honestly, sincerely and truly disgusting. Just roast wizards endlessly until they pre-ban this before the set even comes out. We need to do something about this. There needs to be the biggest uproar they've ever seen in the community over printing this shit. You know, according to Mark's article, it is strongly implied that this card was either designed by Andrew Veen, Eric Lauer, or Tom Ross, and I'm leaning towards Andrew. But George and Aaron gave their rubber stamp of approval to this. Technically, so did maybe Mark. Oh, Mark Hagen, probably not the Mark you're thinking of. So I've at least got it narrowed down to 3 people, and whoever was like, let's do this, just lose their job immediately. They need to be fired. Anybody who would think that this is okay doesn't have a basic grasp of the game. Which is why I don't think it was Tom Ross. So I've got it basically narrowed down to 2. And I'll give you a hint. One of them designs abusive, manipulative, overpriced garbage mobile games, and one of them came over from Kaijudo. And theoretically, the whole damn Vision design team should have seen this during playtesting and somebody should have said something, but, you know, we don't know what happened. Maybe one of them did and they just vetoed it and said, no, it's fine. I mean, there's nothing fine about this card. I refuse to play Standard while this piece of shit is illegal, unless somehow by some miracle nobody plays it, but you've got to be kidding me. Of course people are going to play this. This card is the whole rest of the deck in card form. I mean, you get this out, you just win, and it costs 4. That's utterly ridiculous. Your only options are to turn this into a frog and hope it stays that way, stop its activated ability, which I think there's like one card that does it and it's really obscure, or exile it. Or, I mean, I guess gain control of it permanently. I mean, there's some fringe stuff you could do to it. Light it up while you can't lose the game effect is in play. Is that even in Standard? I mean, like, but within reason, if you don't exile this, you lose. And you know what? If you do exile it, they'll just spend the mana that phase. So you're probably going to lose regardless. They're probably going to slip in an X spell just to make absolutely sure that whoever's running this card wins the game. So yeah, this is a disgrace. I have not heard one person say anything good about this. Everybody saw this and just went ballistic. It is astonishing how much we as the community, we as the players know better than the people who it's their full-time job, 8 hours a day to design and play test these cards. And this is what they come up with. And then without even being able to play with it, just looking at it for 30 seconds, everybody's knee-jerk reaction is, this shouldn't exist, this is overpowered, and we are 100% correct. How does that happen? Fire all 5 people in the damn Vision design team. Just get rid of everybody. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So let's move on. I'm sick of looking at this absolute disgrace. So next up, we got Glacial Grasp. It's a 3-cost instant in blue, tap target creature. Its controller mills 2 cards. Oh, good, more mill assistance. Great. And then that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. I mean, I guess you almost wouldn't even run this in mill, although, I mean, it's not as good as bouncing something back to hand, but you get to mill 2, but 2 is like basically nothing. I think this is just to build up that mega threshold thing, where you get your opponent to 8 cards in the graveyard. I think that's what most of these mill effects are. Oh, and also at the end, by the way, it says draw a card, in case you missed that last line. I think I forgot to read that. That's a little much making it a cantrip. I mean, it's not a true cantrip if it costs mana and it costs 3, but, you know, close enough. So, yeah, I hate it. Next up, Skycleave Pickaxe. Oh, no, it's Skyclave. Sorry, I still have PTSD over Embercleave. So anyway, this is a green single cost equipment. When it enters the battlefield, you'll never guess what happens. You'll never guess, guys. It attaches to a creature for free. What? And it has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, equipped creature gets +2/+2 till end of turn, and then equip 3. So it's a portable landfall effect, but that equip is pretty steep. So the free equip is a little nuts. So cards that free equip, which we're on like what, our 8th equipment that does that, they're going to make kill spells and individual well-timed creature removal extremely important, which is why they printed like, what, 4 to 6 removal spells that are all really unique and new, just in black, just in this set. It's like they knew. So if you are thinking about running some kind of tribal deck or something where you build up and run them over, no, you are going to need bare minimum 12 creature removals in any deck you build, or you are not going to win. You have to blow away the free equipped creature or you're going to die with most of this equipment. So next up, Veteran Adventurer. It's a 5/5 for 6, human with no subtype. Well, okay, they gave it to him on the next line, just for space reasons. He is also a cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard. I was going to say veteran adventurer, really? He's like literally the best person you could get for a party and you're not going to give him a subtype? No, they gave him all the subtypes. Cool. So this spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party, and then it has vigilance. So that is pretty badass. It's looking like green might be the only color that could honestly pull off a party somewhat reliably. Next up, Rapas de Tazeem. I've got to say, I mean, you pronounce proper nouns in the way of their country of origin, so Spanish would probably just say Tazeem. But let's just say if that was a Spanish word, that's not even close to how you would pronounce it or spell it. It's not even a valid Spanish word. You don't stack vowels like that. So I can't wait to see native Spanish speakers be like, what is this? Like, unless they just know it's Tazeem, you know? Like, I know some Japanese names and how to pronounce them, so it's like, you know, you hear things. So obviously Tazeem's Raptor, and it's a 3-cost bird with flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you may return a land you control to its owner's hand. So little landfall assister. I don't know if landfall is that heavy in white, honestly. I don't think it's that great. So that is it for today's spoilers. Oh boy. I thought there was a second just disaster of a card, but I'm not seeing it here. So I guess, nope, it's just... you know, let's just call that Dragon 2 disasters. It's like 7. It's like 7 disasters in one. One for every reason that it should be banned. So unfortunately, Wizards, in their infinite wisdom, will take about probably 3 to 4 months to ban this thing and let it completely ruin the format. But Standard 2021 on Arena right now without any cards from Zendikar is completely broken, unplayable, overpowered, repetitive trash, dominated by like 3 net decks. And all I've seen is more fuel for the 3 popular decks in the set. So it's only going to get worse. We know this. That is a fact. That is not, oh, my speculation indicates it might go this way. Oh, there's a 60% chance. No, 100% it is going to be a shit show when this drops. And that is not how you start out a new cycle after everybody's been waiting months for this broken trash in the 4 sets that are going to cycle out. That is not a good foot to start on. And then they already confirmed that the next 2 sets in 2021 are going to have double face cards. So at least we won't be playing paper anytime soon. Although if you didn't see my last video, they just basically cured COVID-19 like 5 days ago. Clinical trials pending, but no, they cured it. It's like 10 different medications we already have and it'll stop, you know. Just go watch the video. It's such a huge breakthrough. It's finally starting to make its way to the news. So anyway, thanks for watching. Wish I had better news about this shit game, but they just insist on keeping on ruining it. So I had nothing bad to say about the set until day 3 when they started showing me the stuff that should be upsetting to all of you if you got your head screwed on straight. So it is what it is, and I'll see you guys next video.